For MPSC, we have to write a 400 words essay, and that is the word limit. You get two options, and out of that, you have to choose one and you have to write an essay. So, my introduction in short, I am Hetal Pagare, selected as Deputy Collector through MPSC State Services 2019. My English descriptive score was 41 on 50. So, I guess I have the highest score. So, this is my way of sharing my tips and whatever strategy I used with you all so that you also can score more than 41 and get a very good score and get a very good push in your result of MPSC. So let us begin. First thing first is how to choose a topic. So, how to choose a topic? Many people go for choosing a topic in the sense की जे टॉपिक कोणी चूज नाही करणार ते मी चूज करतो असं बऱ्याच जणांचं अप्रोच असतो. But I think it is not a right approach to go with. You have to always choose a topic that you're comfortable with. You should be comfortable with that topic. Don't choose it because it is unpopular. Don't choose it because nobody else will choose that topic. So, choosing a topic is very important because that is the first step in writing the essay. So, do that carefully. Choose a topic that you are completely comfortable with. Don't choose a topic that makes you uncomfortable and that is not म्हणजे you are not comfortable with some topic की you don't agree with that topic but still you want to choose because you want to like be do something different or something असं नका करू. Just choose a topic you're comfortable with आणि as I said, the second point you have to remember is do not choose a topic because it is different. Third thing you should realize is choose conceptual clarity over content. म्हणजे there could be two topics that you have. आणि out of that you have म्हणजे you have clarity over one topic and you have content. म्हणजे तुमच्याकडे डेटा आहे, फॅक्ट्स आहेत, सगळं आहे. But you do not have clarity over that topic. For example, I'll tell you, आमच्या वेळेस there were two topics. One was terrorism, the other was pleasures of friendship, as far as I remember. So yeah. So terrorism is a straight topic. It's terrorism. You can approach it the way you want to. So your perception can be anything about terrorism and you can simply write an essay on terrorism. But when it comes to pleasures of friendship, now you might think that friendship is a very easy topic to go with, but it is not just friendship, it is pleasures of friendship. So you have to be very, very sure that you understand what the topic is all about and you only then choose that topic. So, conceptual clarity about a topic is much more important than the content of the topic itself. So, remember that you understand the topic very well before selecting that very topic. And if you are not sure, I would always tell you to choose a very safe topic such as terrorism. म्हणजे straightforward जे topics असतात ते choose करा rather than something that is more complicated. If you're not sure, just go with a very straightforward topic. आणि try to understand the topic thoroughly. म्हणजे is it talking about any specific thing? म्हणजे is it talking about terrorism or is it talking about a particular type of terrorism? A terrorism related to ideology, or is it talking about bio weapons? म्हणजे which terrorism? So if they have not specified, very good for you, because then you have an advantage to interpret it however you want to and you can म्हणजे explore the different dimensions of that topic. But if they have given you one dimension, stick to that one dimension. You can definitely write a few more dimensions in it, but your main focus should be that one dimension that they talk about. For example, if it's a topic on health and if it is related to pandemic, you have to talk about pandemic and not health in general. So always see to it that you understand the topic thoroughly, that you understand what they are trying to tell you, like if it's a specific topic or it's a general topic. So you should be able to distinguish between the topic itself. Ki, is it about a specific thing? If it's about pandemic, you have to talk only about pandemic. म्हणजे your main theme of the essay should be pandemic only. And all the things related to pandemic which are related to health infra, health budget, आणि जे काही schemes were given out during the pandemic. So you should talk about the specific thing that they have asked you. Do not talk about health in general, but stick to the topic. So that is about choosing the topic. Now, second thing that we come to is the structure of the essay. Now, these are the things that you have to do in the rough work, whatever I've written here. So, you have to first think about the introduction that you're going to start your essay with. So, first thing first, introduction has to be very, very good. I'll explain the introduction in much more detail ahead. But understand that your introduction plays a very big part in your essay. It's 25 marks, it's not less. So, your target always has to be to score above 20. And how to score about above 20 is, these are some tricks and some tips that everybody should follow, and everybody does know this, but I'm again reiterating that introduction plays a very, very important role. So first, think about what introduction are you going to start your topic with. Now there are ways to start introduction, I'll come to it in some time, but let's talk about the structure. So your structure has to be introduction, body, and conclusion. That is our basic structure. But when you do it in the rough work, just write all the quotes that you know on the topic. Okay, you might not start your essay with the quote, it's fine. But you have to write down the list of quotes that you have on the topic. If it's on health, you might know health is wealth, or investment in health will give you big returns in the long term. All such quotes you have to write down in the rough work so that you do not forget it. म्हणजे जेव्हा तुम्ही एसे लिहित असता तेव्हा यू शुड रिमेंबर it's difficult to remember all the things at once. So it's better that in the rough work you have everything ready so that you can use it wherever you want to. So that's why you have to write down the list of quotes. You have to also write down the facts, figures, and examples that you're going to use in your essay. Facts meaning any data that you have. It could be a ranking. If we're talking about corruption, it could be Transparency International chi ranking of India. If we are talking about gender equality, it could be Gender Equality, it's a index. If we are talking about women, it could be the rate of crime against women. If we are talking about again health, it can be the budget of our health, how much is it. So if you're talking about education, it could be the gross enrollment ratio. सो ऑल दीज फॅक्ट्स अँड फिगर्स ऑल्सो, म्हणजे जे जे तुम्हाला लक्षात येते त्या टॉपिकबद्दल ते सगळं तुम्ही रफ वर्कमध्ये यू हॅव टू राईट इट डाऊन सो दॅट यू डू नॉट मिस आउट इवन अ सिंगल थिंग वेन यू आर रायटिंग द एसे. इट्स फाईन इफ यू डोंट यूज इट वेन यू आर रायटिंग द एसे, but make sure that you have the data there so that you can use it later. When I say examples meaning एनिथिंग लाईक आता पॅन्डेमिकचं जर एसे असेल तर वी हॅव मुंबई मॉडेल, वी हॅव नागपूर मॉडेल, वी हॅव भिलवाडा मॉडेल, वी हॅव केरला मॉडेल. सो ऑल दीज थिंग्स आर एक्झाम्पल्स. सो दीज आर इम्पॉर्टंट फॉर यू टू सबस्टॅन्शिएट युअर आर्ग्युमेंट्स. म्हणजे वॉट एव्हर युअर सेईंग त्याच्यासाठी तुम्हाला काहीतरी रिझनिंग द्यावी लागणार. सो यू हॅव टू जस्टिफाय युअर आर्ग्युमेंट्स. सो दीज एक्झाम्पल्स, दीज फॅक्ट्स, दीज figures that you have that are only to substantiate your argument, so that it should not look like ki you're just generally talking about a topic. It should look like you have information on that topic and only then you're saying what you're saying. So if you're saying that India has corruption or the rate of corruption in India is high, you need to mention it. How is it high? Why are you saying it is high? Who told you it is high? So for that, you have to mention Transparency International's report says that India has been ranked at 86th position. So, this shows that we have corruption. Or if you're saying that there is violence against women, so you have to substantiate it with the rate of crime has been increasing against women. It has increased by this and this percent in the last 1 or 2 years. So when you mention this, the examiner knows that you know what you're talking about and you're aware about whatever you're talking about. So it is it like consolidates your essay very well. It gives a good impression that you know what you're talking about and you're well prepared on the topic. And it shows that you have clarity of the subject and you're not just bluffing. Okay, so it should not come off as that you're just giving out statements, uh, So you have to always substantiate whatever you're saying. जे काही तुम्ही बोलताय, जे काही तुम्ही लिहिताय, त्याच्यासाठी यू हॅव टू हॅव फॅक्ट्स, फिगर्स, एक्झाम्पल, केस स्टडीज, स्टोरीज रेडी. So current affairs plays a very important role. Newspaper plays a very important role in such essays. So that is your sources to collect all these things. So whenever you are reading something, keep a note of all these things. Like if you come across corruption and if you're reading on corruption, if you come across environment, if you're reading on environment, now we have floods all over the world. So you should make note of all these things. There are so many indexes on climate change also. There is Paris Agreement. So what is the progress on Paris Agreement? ह्या सगळ्या गोष्टींचं you should make a note and you should have like your notes for essays separately. So you should have quotes on every topic. You should have facts and figures on every topic. I'm not saying you just have to mention facts, but jithe pan it's important to mention facts. You have to mention it because only then the examiner will know that you know what you're talking about. Like you are not bluffing. So it is very important that it should not come off as bluffing, and it should look very real and it should look genuine that you've genuinely prepared on this topic and you know this topic very well. So for that you should have these facts, figures and examples. So in the rough work, what we are going to do is we are going to think about a very good introduction that we are going to start with. uh, that I'll tell you how to start the introduction. Then you will come to the body part, wherein you will decide how you're going to approach, whether it's problems, solutions, or is it social, economic, political. So that you have to decide. Then in the conclusion part, you have to come out with a way forward, how you're going to end the topic and what is your vision for the topic now. What is your idea of how to solve this problem? If it's a problem, how to solve it, or if it's something futuristic, what do you think that we should do about that vision? So your vision matters in the conclusion. What you think is the right way forward. So that is what your conclusion should be about. So you have to give 5 to 10 minutes for the structure, not more than 10 minutes, because time management plays an important role in our essay paper. Like our descriptive is all about time management because we have to finish 2 descriptive papers in 3 hours. So be well aware of the time whenever you are doing all these things. So it is introduction, body, conclusion. While doing the structure, also look at the thing how many paras are you going to add in your essay. That is also very important. म्हणजे लिहिताना पण यू कॅन स्विच, बट एक आयडिया असणं म्हणजे इम्पॉर्टंट आहे. कारण you need to know on first page what you're going to write. Are you going to only write introduction on the first page? So if you have that idea, your essay will flow very smoothly. So always have an idea as to how you're going to approach with the essay. So whenever I used to write the essay, I used to know that first page will be half introduction and half will be my definitions, and I'll define the term that they have given me. I'll explain what the term means. Then I used to go to second page. The second page used to be if there are types of the if I'll talk about terrorism. So I used to in like 2-3 lines I used to explain the types of terrorism and what are the new emerging types of the terrorism. Then I used to start with what are the causes of terrorism and you know why is it increasing, why are we not able to stop it. So that used to be my third para. So you have to have an idea as to how your approach is going to be. So causes पासून माझी बॉडी वॉज माय म्हणजे आय स्टार्टेड माय बॉडी विथ द कॉजेस बेसिकली. So first page was the introduction that I started with. Second para of mine was the paragraph, like the definitions. I used to define the term properly. I used to write the types if that term has any types, if there are different dimensions to it. आणि मग I used to start my body with causes, then challenges that we face while getting while eliminating terrorism, and then I used to give out solutions. So my last paragraph was dedicated म्हणजे the last 2 pages, I would say 2.5 pages were completely dedicated to the solutions part and how we should approach it. So solutions part also involves what the government has done so far, what the international organizations have done so far, आणि जर कोणत्या म्हणजे कोणत्या दुसऱ्या कंट्रीनी काही चांगल्या स्टेप्स घेतल्या असतील तर त्या, आणि हाऊ दोज स्टेप्स कॅन बी रेप्लिकेटेड इन इंडिया. सो वेन वी टॉक अबाउट टेक्नॉलॉजी वगैरे, आणि टेक्नॉलॉजीवर एखादा जर तुम्हाला एसे असेल तर यू कॅन टॉक अबाउट जपान, किंवा तुम्हाला जे पण कोणताही देश माहिती आहे जिथे खूप ॲडव्हान्स्ड चायना फॉर दॅट मॅटर. सो इफ यू हॅव सीन दिस, इफ यू हॅव हर्ड इन न्यूज दॅट दे आर coming out with different kinds of modes of transport, they have good roads, they have good infrastructure, so you can mention those ki Japan is very good with infrastructure and they have earthquake resistant infrastructure. So आपल्यासाठी जेव्हा disaster management we are facing so much of problem, we should replicate some of the things from Japan. So when you do this, it shows that you're very positive, you have a problem solving approach, and that is what the essay is all about. So essay is basically about judging you as a person. So they are judging you as a person, and that's why it's important for you to be a problem solver, give them good solutions, give some innovative solutions if you have. सो याच्यासाठी ब्रेनस्टॉर्मिंग करणं पण खूप महत्त्वाचं आहे. सो सिट विथ अ टॉपिक आणि थिंक अबाउट वॉट यू वूड हॅव डन इफ दिस थिंग वूड हॅव हॅपन्ड इन युअर district, if it's environment related, if it's climate change, if you're facing some problems with climate change, if there are landslides, if there are floods in your district, what would you do? What would your approach be? So that is how you come out with good and innovative solutions. So that is what you should do in the conclusion part. You have to give a way forward. So this is what you're going to do in the rough work. Make sure that you do it in the 5-10 minutes. And your approach should be introduction, body and conclusion. Now I'll comprehensively cover the introduction, body and conclusion part, how it should be. Now when we come to introduction, there are many ways to start your essay. First is to tell a story. So you can tell a story. It can be imaginary, it can be inspired from a real incident, it can be your own story, it can be anything. But you have to it should be related to the topic. Very important, it should be related to the topic. You cannot tell just some random story. So telling a story is a very good start of your essay. Manje it can actually give a gist of the topic in just first 10 lines madhe we can get whole gist of the topic, and whatever you want to say you can say it in that one story only. So if you can do that, it's very manje खूप चांगलं. But if not, it's fine. You can approach it with an anecdote which is your real life incident. You can tell them that. You can mention a fact or current affairs related to that topic. So while telling a story, now there are 2-3 things that you can do. Telling a story. So if we talk about education or if we talk about environment, let's talk about environment and how environment is getting degraded with time. So there was one story that I read, so I'll share it with you all. There was a kid, a child in a supermarket, and when he was with his mother, so they were shopping in the supermarket, and when they went to the billing counter, the lady asked them if they wanted plastic. But the child himself said कि we do not want plastic bags. Mom don't take plastic bags because it harms the environment. So this shows that how education can impact a child and how that child can in the future uh, become a responsible citizen. So this small story can give you a gist of education as well, and it can give you a gist of environment as well. So this is a story you can use interchangeably with education also and with environment also. So with education, it shows that if you give education at the at the very beginning, and if you nurture the child from the very beginning, they can become responsible citizens in the future, and they'll take good decisions for your country in the future. And for environment, you can use it ki, if you create awareness at the school level at the very beginning, it can impact the whole generation. So this is how the story can be used in many ways. So you need to find such stories which can be very inspiring, and if you write such an introduction and such a story in the introduction, it gives a very good impression about you, and it shows that you have a very good approach towards problems. You know how to tackle it, you know how to start, and you know how to approach with the topic itself. So that is how you start with a story. Same is anecdote, but anecdote will be your own your own incident or something that happened in your life. But don't make it too emotional and too dramatic. Be practical while writing an essay, and practically try to don't try to gain sympathy out of your incident. Try to show it in a very practical light and very practically like an administrator, because you are approaching an exam which is for you to become an administrator. So always have a very practical approach, even if it's a very emotional story. uh, Look at it as a very from a neutral point of view. Be a neutral person while writing an essay. Do not you know bring in emotions. Of course there should be empathy, but there should not be too many emotions and sentiments, and you know no sympathizing in the essays. You have to be very neutral. You're neutrally looking at the topic as a neutral spectator, and you have to give your opinion on that topic. Now, while mentioning a fact or current affairs, I would like to tell you the हेल्थचं. आता पॅन्डेमिक आहे. सो पॅन्डेमिकमध्ये खूप चान्सेस आहे की तुम्हाला पॅन्डेमिकवर टॉपिक येऊ शकतो किंवा हेल्थवर तर टॉपिक येऊ शकतो. सो in current affairs or fact, you can mention how our health infrastructure was bogged down when we had cases more than 1 lakh वगैरे, close to 1 lakh in Maharashtra. So what happened actually during the pandemic? Why we could not provide facilities to all these people? So you can mention one of the incident ki you saw people struggling to get beds, you saw people struggling to get oxygen supply, you saw people struggling to get medical supplies, medicines. So show empathy, that you empathize with everyone, but have a neutral approach while writing all this. And you can mention facts and figures also ki there were oxygen leakages in many places, the bed allotment was not centralized or it was not decentralized properly, there was no coordination among the different sections, the the administration, the uh, political leaders, there was no coordination, and the decision making was slow वगैरह. You can begin your essay with this because it's current affairs, and however how you've read it in the newspaper, you can mention it the same way in the newspaper, in the your paper also, and that is how you can begin your essay with. The other thing you can do is mention an incident ki you can mention an incident in the way ki you went to the hospital and you saw people struggling. म्हणजे एखादं कोणतं तरी incident तिथे लिहा which has touched you, which was very moving for you as a person ki uh, it could be anything. It could be related to education. Now if I talk about education, there was one incident which Mr. Shashi Tharoor had narrated. It was about a woman. So a woman म्हणजे around 40, She was 40 years old, but she started getting education, and she decided that she wants to get educated. So her name was Chitramani. I've told this incident many a times, but it is very moving and very touching. So you can use such incidents also, which have been mentioned by people, by experts, by you, which have been experienced by you. So you can mention any such incident which is very touching and which is close to that topic. So about education, when Mr. Shashi Tharoor was talking, so he talked about Chitramani, who who got education at the age of 40. And when he asked her what education means to you, all she said was that now I don't have to depend on anyone when I'm traveling in the bus, because I can see the signs written on the bus. I can see where the bus is going. I can take the bus on my own. I can get down on my stop. I don't have to ask people whether this is my stop or have we reached. So that is education for her. So, you know what? Education can mean anything for anyone, it can be empowering for people. So, you have to mention such moving incidents. It could be inspired from your life, inspired from somebody else's life, but such incidents you can mention in the introduction. The other thing you can do is questioning. So, what does questioning mean? Questioning means that you have to question the topic itself. If it's corruption, if it's women empowerment, if it's violence against women, whatever, म्हणजे जे काही, if it's related to something negative which should have stopped by now, if it's related to discrimination in all forms, if it's such a topic, you have to be thoda sa, it should be provoking for you, it should be thought provoking for you. You should mention ki even in 21st century we are talking about a topic which should have been dealt with earlier, and which there should have been gender equality by now, but still we have to talk about women empowerment, we are still talking about discrimination, we are still talking about all these things. So why, what is lacking, why are we failing? These type of questions is how you start your introduction with. Or terrorism or corruption, why are we not able to tackle corruption, why are we still facing corruption, why, what is that we are lacking while dealing with corruption, why can't we deal with corruption even today? So this is how you can start your topic with, but while questioning it you have to give some data, you have to give some facts. So you have to give a crime rate or JK, which is like very thought provoking. Ki even today we have such a high crime rate, or even today we have such a high corruption rate. So when you give such a data, that shows that okay, actually it is very bad, and only then you're questioning it. So then that is how you can question it. That is questioning part. Then other thing you can do to start your topic is definition. Now, when we come to definition, definition is the easiest way to start your topic with. You can simply explain the topic in your own words. You don't have to be very technical, because essay is not about technicality. Essay is about your opinions. Essay is about making things simpler. Essay is about having a clear thought and writing it clearly. It's not about fancy words. It's not about too much of a complication, any complicated words. It's not about that. It is about keeping everything simple. And if you can define that term simply, nothing like it. So just start with the simple definition. Uh, Today we'll talk about corruption. You can define corruption in your own words, whatever it means to you. Abuse of authority or जे काही, म्हणजे just explain it simply, and that will be the start of your essay. The last thing you can do is quote or poem. So quote, if you know a quote related to that topic, very good, but it's difficult to have a very म्हणजे a very accurate quote. So quote I don't suggest generally to start with, but if you have a quote which is very relevant to the topic, you should definitely start with a quote. Or if you have a poem relevant to the topic, you can start with a poem as well. So I had a poem related to farmers distress, so I used it in my essay. But if you have if you have poems or quotes, you can definitely use it, but be very sure that it is relevant to the topic. It should be very very accurate in the topic itself. So this is about introduction. This is how you can start the introduction. Either tell a story, narrate an anecdote, mention a fact or current affairs, mention an incident from your own life, question the topic, define the topic, quotes or poem. Now we come to the main body. Now, how should your approach be when we are approaching the topic and we are talking about the main body? How should your approach be? So, it can either be social, economical, political, the way we it's the simplest approach. How socially it is going to affect you, economically how will it affect you, politically how will it affect you. So that is the most simple way to start a topic. The second way to start a topic is past, present, and future. What does past, present, and future mean? Now, if we have a topic wherein we are talking about India at 75, आता we are celebrating 75th Independence Day and the celebrations are on. So, if they ask you about India and development or India at 75, if they give you such a topic, you have to talk about past, the past of India, the rule, colonial rule, mug post independence, mug today, how is India today? It could be economically, socially, politically, how are we doing today? आणि मग future. What is the future for India? What is your vision for India? What should India achieve by the 75th year? What do you see India as? So that is how you can start with past, present, and future. So you should understand the topic and you should be able to choose ki how you're going to approach that topic. Is it either social, economic, political? Is it past, present, future? Is it sectoral? Now, when we talk about sectoral, if it's a technology related topic, so you have to explore sectors in technology. When I say exploring sectors, let's talk about artificial intelligence. If we have artificial intelligence or any such topic which is related to technology, if it's related to social media, for example. So, if we have a topic related to social media, we have to explore the different sectors that it is going to affect. It could be agriculture, it could be economy, it could be industry, it could be health, it could be it could be crimes. So all these topics, all these sectors you have to explore, and you have to write one para on different sectors and how you're going to use it or how is it going to affect these sectors. So when we are talking about artificial intelligence or social media, while exploring the sectors also, you have to be sure, you have to be very clear as to you have to write the good things about how can we use it in that sector and the bad things that it can affect, like what are the advantages of using it in that sector and what are the disadvantages of using it in that sector. So when we talk about social media, we can talk about during pandemic how social media was used as a helpline. People were posting their pictures and stories on social media, and people were getting connected from all parts of India, and supplies were provided from Mumbai to Delhi or Delhi to Mumbai to Delhi to Kolkata, and people were coordinating on social media itself. So, social media became a helpline for everyone during the pandemic. So, that is a sector. But you can also mention that there could be chances of black marketing as well. So, you have to give one positive, you have to give one negative. So, that is how you explore the sectors. So, you have to maintain a balance always. You cannot be very uh, you cannot always talk about the positive things. No, neither you should talk about all the negative things. You should always maintain a balance. You should show both the sides of the picture and take a very balanced stand, that you can always say that we can use it in this sector, but we have to always be aware that it is not misused in this way. It should not be misused for black marketing, or it should not be misused to give out fake medicines or to give out fake news. So these negatives also, if you mention, it shows that you're aware about both the things. You're aware about its positive and you're aware about its negatives. So that is how you approach with the sectoral part. The other approach that you can use it is problems and solutions. It's a very simple approach, very simply put. You have to first give your introduction, define the term, tell the problems in in that topic, give out your solutions, and give a small balanced way forward. That is your conclusion. So problems and solutions could be mm, problems could be in education. If we talk, uh, problems could be gross enrollment ratio still not up to the mark. Higher education is still not focused upon. Higher education is neglected. So all these are your problems. For these problems, you have to give out solutions. You have to say what the government has already done, what schemes it is give, what schemes the government has already implemented. Then national education policy. So now national education policy also becomes a very important topic for you. So remember to prepare national education policy very well, because it is very much in news. Ani, when we talk about education, national education policy is something that you have to mention and you have to be prepared with. So that could be your solutions part, wherein you mention what the government has done, what the government is trying to do. Animag, your own opinion. So always remember to give your opinion on what you think the solution should be, because that is the main thing that they want to read. They know what the government has done, they know what the international organizations have done, but their main focus is going to be what you can do and what you think is the best way forward. So definitely we have to mention what the government has done and what the schemes are implemented and national education policy and everything, but even in that you can mention how we can effectively implement the national education policy, or what changes we need to do in our education system. How it is right now it is rote learning, how we can make it more holistic, how we can make it more, how we can include sports into it, how we can reduce the focus on academic, and how we can make it more experimental, how we can make it more practical learning, how we can make our students more innovative, and you know, how we can make them think beyond, how we can make them think out of the box. So that is your solutions part. Now walks of life and dimensions is somewhat same as the sectoral, but when we talk about walks of life, it actually means individual, family, friends, society. So that is your walks of life. So when there is a topic on friendship, for example, you can talk about how friendship is important to an individual, how is it important to your family, how is it important to your friends, society, and how will it be helpful in a bigger level, like after society comes the country and the international era. So the international arena. So how friendship can affect all these walks of life. So there is a way you can start every essay with. So if you select the correct approach to start your essay, it becomes very easy for you to write that essay. So तुमचा flow will be very smooth if you know how to approach the main body. So while writing about friendship, when we talk about international, we can talk about a prime minister, how he can, you know, make use of friendship, how his friendly nature can be very effective for us to get some deals finalized with US, how our approach has been very friendly and which has, you know, benefited us, how we are friends to our neighborhood countries and how our neighborhood countries support us in the long term. That is how walks of life comes into picture. So when you're talking about friendship, you need to talk about how it is important for an individual, how it is important for your family and friends, how is it important for your relatives, how is it important for your society, how is it important for your country, how is it important in the no international dimension. So that is walks of life. Again, dimensions, I'll again explain it in short. What dimension, there's very slight difference in these words, but it is important. So when we talk about dimensions, if I'm talking about health, the dimensions would mean physical health, the dimension would mean mental health, the dimension would mean women's health in general, in specific. So these are some topics which are the dimensions of the health. Why are these dimensions? Because mental health is not same as health or physical health. So physical health is different, mental health is different, and women's health, because they have some complications which are different than others. Also, there could be a dimension of tribal health, but you have to limit your dimensions according to the priority and according to the word limit. So, have a limit of the dimensions that you're going to use. So, this is the dimensions part. So, I hope I'm clear with social, economic, political, past, present, future, sectoral, problems and solutions, walks of life, and dimensions. Now, these are some of the terms that you can use to transition smoothly from one para to another. So it's important that your paras have a sync. आणि असं नाही वाटलं पाहिजे की this para is very different from the next para. So while starting the next para, you can add these words. While starting your paras, you can use these words. So if I have written about the problems in the second para, for example, if I've written about the problems, आणि I have one more म्हणजे I want to add one more paragraph about problems. So you can write, in addition to this, there are also these problems. And if you're going to write solution, you can use in contrast. So if it's advantages and disadvantages, you can use in contrast. Next is again the same thing. You can use next, next, next if it is too many things that you're talking about. So if it's on technology, as I said, you can talk about the agriculture sector, you can talk about the industry sector. So in that you can write next. Next we can talk about the industry sector and how technology is important in the industry sector. Again, you can write next. We can talk about the infrastructure, wherein the technology plays a very important part if we have to construct bridges on the sea and good railway system. So next can be used. Similar way is then there is however, there's obviously, there's therefore, there's consequently, and there's in conclusion. And for example is also the same as in addition. म्हणजे if you have written something before and if you want to give example for it, म्हणजे if you have a data substantiating what you said, you can use for example. So these are your transition words. Remember these transition words because these will be helpful for you to transition from one para to another smoothly. Now, I have already spoken about substantiating your arguments, but I'll again give you the specific pointers where you have to focus on while substantiating your arguments. Now, facts and figures we have already talked about, so I won't go into much detail. Facts and figures means the rate or the percentage of whatever you're talking about. Ani, it should be from relevant source. So it should be from NSO or Niti Aayog or असं काहीतरी governmentचं source पाहिजे, and you have to mention the source. Don't just write facts there. Mention where you have read it. Statistics also means the same. Any statistics that you have, literacy rate or crime rate or whatever, that should be mentioned in the statistics. Examples meaning if anything has happened, if you know any incident or anything, you can write it in the examples part, and it should be something real. So don't make up examples. Something that you've read in the newspaper or something that you have seen. म्हणजे there were incidents of violence against doctors even during pandemics when they were working 24/7. Still we had attacks on doctors and COVID warriors. So you can mention such incident while talking about health. You can mention such a real incident which happened in any city. You can, wherever you have read it, so mention that city and mention that example. Now, case studies meaning Mumbai model, Nagpur model, Bhilwada model. These are the case studies that you can mention. Uh, case studies also mean all the models of development that you see. रालेगन सिद्धी असेल किंवा असे जे काही डेव्हलपमेंटचे मॉडेल्स आहेत किंवा डॉक्टर कोलिनचं जे इनिशिएटिव्ह आहे, दीज आर द केस स्टडीज दॅट यू कॅन यूज. So such case studies should be there with you, and you should make a list of such case studies if you come across the case studies. And just write the topic and write that case study, and so that you can use it in your essay later. Now, relevant index and ranking meaning, as I said, ट्रान्सपरन्सी इंटरनॅशनलची जी काही रँकिंग असेल किंवा जेंडर इक्वॉलिटीवर एखादी रँकिंग असेल, सो दॅट इज युअर इंडेक्स अँड रँकिंग. If there is an index given by Niti Aayog, if there is an index on climate change, those are the index, and that ranking you have to remember. So that also can substantiate your argument very well. The other thing you can use is expert opinion. Now, expert opinion has to be from an expert. It does not mean a political leader. So do not write anything that has been said by a political leader. Experts meaning experts in those very fields. If it is an economist, if there is some economist who has given out an opinion on agriculture laws or economy, why the economy is down and how we can recover, असे जे expert opinions असतील, that you can use in the expert opinion. Committee reports mean any committee. सरकार या कमिशनची जर रिपोर्ट तुम्हाला माहिती असेल, सेकंड ERCची जर तुम्हाला कमिटीची रिपोर्ट माहिती असेल, किंवा एन्व्हायरमेंटवर एखादी कमिटी असेल, ज्या कमिटी म्हणजे विच एवर इज अ फेमस कमिटी, यू हॅव टू यूज दोज रिपोर्ट्स अँड यू हॅव टू मेन्शन दोज रिपोर्ट्स, बिकॉज दॅट ॲक्च्युली गिव्स अ व्हेरी गुड आयडिया अबाउट वॉट यू आर सेईंग अँड वाय यू आर सेईंग. म्हणजे इफ यू यूज द कमिटी रिपोर्ट्स, इट गिव्स यू अ व्हेरी गुड एज. So mention those committee reports and you mention the committee that you are talking about. So this is how you can substantiate your arguments. Don't just give out sentences. Write facts, write statistics, write examples why you're saying what you're saying. So next is our conclusion. 2-3 things to remember in the conclusion. It has to be all about solutions. There's no criticizing in the conclusion because you've already given two sides of the coin. Now is the time for you to balance it out. Now is the time for your own opinion and how to approach the conclusion, how to approach the topic, how to approach the problem. So the conclusion has to be very futuristic. You should come off as a very hopeful person, and a person who can give hope to the society, who is not a criticizer, who does not only criticize but also looks at the good part, and who has a problem solving approach. So that is what the conclusion is all about. Your solution side, you have to be futuristic, you have to have a vision, you have to be innovative. It should be more of a way forward than a conclusion. End it on a very positive note, end it on a very hopeful note. Like even if we are talking about something bad like crime rate against women, violence against women, even if we are talking about health and our health infrastructure, how it is in a poor state, but don't leave it on that. Say that if we build a robust rural infrastructure in terms of health, we can definitely achieve our target of a very healthy citizenry. We can have a very good life expectancy. So end it on a very hopeful note. Like, give a solution and then end it very nicely. Do not end it on a negative note. Even if you're saying that our health infrastructure is needs some improvement right now, but I'm very hopeful and very sure that if we achieve a robust rural infrastructure, and if we can build a robust rural infrastructure in terms of health, we can definitely achieve our target of a healthy citizenry in the coming years. Don't give a timeline also, that is not required, but you should be hopeful that in the coming future, in the coming years, we can definitely achieve what we wanted to achieve. So that is how it should look like. End on a positive note, be hopeful. These are some things that you should remember in conclusion. Be innovative in your approach. Give out some solutions which are down to earth, which are very relevant to the ground reality. So if you can show that you're practical, you have some touch to, you have a grassroots level approach, that will be very, that will give you an edge, and it can give you very good marks, and that is what is required in the essay. Your X factor needs to come out in some or the other way. Either it's in your introduction, either it's in your body part, or it's in your conclusion. But what I suggest is that you focus on your introduction and conclusion, because introduction is a part that sets the tone for your complete essay, because that is when the examiner will either have interest in reading your essay, or he'll have no interest in reading your essay. So if you want him to have interest in reading your essay, and if you want him to read your essay completely and with interest, you have to create that interest in the very beginning, in the introduction itself. And why I tell you to focus on conclusion part is because after this he's going to give you marks. Okay, so whenever he or she is going to give you marks, it is important that you leave him on a very impressive note. If you impress him, he's definitely going to give you, he'll give you 2 3 marks extra. So this is your scoring point. Your scoring point is your introduction, and your scoring point is your conclusion. So remember to have a very good end and start to your essay. Now we'll talk about the sources. Now that I have told you how to approach, I'll talk about the sources as to where you can get your information from. First thing, very important, your newspapers. Newspapers are very important for your essay. Follow your newspapers properly, even if there are examples, incidents happening, if there are models, if there is a case study. Keep an eye for all such things, because this will give you an edge in your essay. So newspaper is the first thing. Index, ranking, statistics, everything is going to come from newspaper. If not newspaper, if you read the current affairs magazine every month or every day, if you follow current affairs, uh, try to collect your data from there. It's not something that you have to do separately, but when you're reading the current affairs, you should be aware about these facts, because these facts will help you substantiate your arguments, as I said. Then second thing is your magazines, Yojna. Yojna, because they have a theme based magazine. So every month they have a theme. So if that theme is relevant to you, if it is about health, if it's about education, it is about corruption, if it is about terrorism, if it's about international relations, if it's about farmer distress, असे जे टॉपिक्स असतील, ज्या ज्या महिन्यात हे themes असतील, you have to read that Yojna for sure. Don't read it page to page, but read the important articles, because it will give you म्हणजे it will criticize also. So you have the criticism part also in Yojna. You also have the solutions. You also have what the government has done. You also get small case studies in different villages or different districts जे वेगवेगळ्या लोकांनी केलेले आहेत. So that is why I suggest Yojna. Not all the magazines, but the magazines that are relevant to you. Whichever month you think the theme is relevant to your essay topic, please read that Yojna. Third thing is, this is actually an activity that you should do. You should collect stories. So if you have a habit of reading non-fiction, or if you have a habit of reading fiction, जे काही असेल, you have to collect stories. Whatever you're reading, read it from an approach of, your exam point of view. Even if it's for fun, even if it's as a hobby, keep an eye open ki ह्या गोष्टी can you use it in your essay, can you use it in some of the paper that you're going to give. So collect stories like I told you about Chitramani, the story of Chitramani, like I told you about the story of a child who went to the supermarket. So such stories should be collected. Ani, you can, if you don't want to collect, you can also Google stories. So just Google inspiring stories and you can read many inspiring stories. So small small stories, but collect such stories. Quotes, again, an important thing. You have to do this separately because quotes ची list तुम्ही बनवायला हवी on broad topics like India and development, freedom of speech, social media or media in general, on women, on discrimination, on education, on health, on corruption, on environment. So all these topics you have to at least have two quotes ready. So have two quotes for every topic. 2 to 3 quotes, not many quotes, because you have to also remember the quotes. Ani, you can also do one thing. You can use one quote in different ways. So if there is a quote about health, that investment in health will reap good returns in the long term, you can use it for education also. Investment in education will reap good returns in the long term. So such quotes can be used interchangeably in different topics. So be smart while also choosing quotes. So you can choose such quotes which are interchangeable and which can be used in different topics also. The last thing for the sources is government reports. If there is a Niti Aayog report on India at 75, read it. Just go through it once. So त्यातले काही points also, if you recollect in the essay, it is very important and it will give you an edge because it's Niti Aayog's report, which is a very relevant body, which is a government which has an impact on the government decision making. So it's a think tank for the government decision making. So it becomes very important. So if you just mention that according to the Niti Aayog report, it gives your argument a different push. It gives your argument a very positive look. So that is why these government reports are important. When I talk about government reports, also I'm talking about the index, the rankings, which is given out by the government or all such all such organizations, even at the international level. So these are your sources for the descriptive paper. Now I'll talk in short about the topic of today, that is corruption. So these are the quotes that you can write down. The first quote, which I think is very relevant and why we are not able to abolish corruption totally, is this: without strong watchdog institutions, impunity becomes the very foundation upon which the systems of corruption are built. And if impunity is not demolished, all efforts to bring an end to corruption are in vain. The second quote also is important. It's people's indifference is the best breeding ground for corruption to grow. So if people are not participating, if people are like, ये तो होता ही रहता है, किवा, hita astats, this is normal. If there is people's indifference, it's definitely a breeding ground for corruption. If people are not, if people only don't want to change it, how can we change corruption? So this is a very good start if you get a topic on corruption. Then there's one more quote, which is, power doesn't corrupt people, people corrupt power. So that is also a very good quote. Now these are 3 ways that you can define corruption. First is abuse of power or authority for personal gains. You can also use abuse of power or authority for private gains. That is also a definition. Then the second definition is corruption is dishonest behavior by those in positions of power. It starts with the tendency of using public office for some personal benefit. Now, third is by World Bank, so it becomes an important definition. If you can remember this, very good, but if you cannot, then you have to remember the simpler definition of abuse of power or authority. So, whichever you can remember, just try to remember it in simple words, or if the World Bank definition, very well. So, it's your choice. Keep it simple, or you can use the complicated one also. It's not complicated if you divide it into parts. So corruption as is defined by the World Bank is a form of dishonesty or a criminal offense which is undertaken by a person or an organization which is entrusted with a position of authority in order to acquire illicit benefits or abuse power for one's private gain. Just divide it into different sections and you can remember the third definition as well. It is a form of dishonesty or a criminal offense which is undertaken by a person or an organization which is entrusted with a position of authority in order to acquire illicit benefits or abuse power for one's private gains. That is your third definition for corruption. This is the data for corruption to substantiate your arguments. So India's rank has slipped 6 places to 86th among the 180 countries in Corruption Perception Index released by Transparency International. This is 2020 ranking. But India was ranked 80th out of 180 countries in 2019. So we have to remember that it was ranked 80 and now it has slipped to 86. So there is something that we have done wrong. So what is that we have done wrong?